Anthony was throwing out of the house in the middle of the night, rain falling like the sky itself was mourning. Not gentle, not soft. It poured with a kind of anger that matched the storm inside him. He stood there, soaked to the bone, holding a small, worn-out bag, everything he owned in the world packed into something that looked like it had already given up. Behind him, the door slammed shut. Not just a door, a life. A voice still echoed in his head, sharp and final, the kind of words that don't just hurt, they stay. He wasn't wanted anymore. Not in that house. Not in that life. Not by the people who were supposed to believe in him. And just like that, he was alone. The street lights flickered as he started walking. No destination. No plan. Just movement. Because standing still meant thinking, and thinking meant breaking. Each step felt heavier than the last, like the weight of everything he had ever been told about himself was sitting on his shoulders. That he wasn't good enough. That he was a failure. That he would never become anything. The world had already decided who he was. And tonight, it felt like maybe they were right. He found shelter under a broken bus stop. The wind howled through the empty street, wrapping around him like a reminder that nothing out here cared if he survived or not. He sat down slowly. The cold seeped into his skin, into his bones, into his thoughts. For the first time, he stopped moving. And that's when it hit him. Everything. The memories. The pain. The feeling of being unwanted, unchosen, unseen. Tears came, quietly at first, then all at once. No one saw. No one heard. And maybe that made it worse. Morning came without asking. The rain had stopped, but the world looked the same, gray and different. He hadn't slept. Just sat there, staring into nothing. Until something inside him shifted. Not hope. Not yet. But something smaller. A decision. If no one wanted him, then he would have to want himself. If no one believed in him, then he would have to become someone worth believing in. Even if he didn't know how. Even if it felt impossible. The first few days were the hardest. Hunger became familiar. Rejection became routine. Every no felt like confirmation of everything he feared was true. But something strange happened. He didn't stop. He found small work, carrying boxes, cleaning floors, doing anything that earned just enough to survive another day. People didn't notice him. And maybe that was a good thing. Because he was rebuilding, quietly. Nights were still cold, lonely. But they were different now. Instead of replaying pain, he started thinking about possibilities. What if he could change? What if this wasn't the end, but the beginning? Weeks turned into months. He learned, observed, improved. Every mistake became a lesson. Every struggle became strength. He started waking up earlier than everyone else, working harder than anyone around him. Not because he had to, but because he refused to go back to who he used to be. The world didn't suddenly become kind. People still doubted him, still overlooked him, still treated him like he didn't matter. But now it didn't hit the same. Because for the first time in his life, he had something they couldn't take. Belief in himself. Years passed. Slowly. Painfully. But steadily. The boy who once stood in the rain with nothing was no longer that boy. He built something. Not overnight. Not easily. But piece by piece. Failure by failure. Lesson by lesson. There were nights he almost gave up. Moments when everything inside him whispered, "You're not enough." But he kept going, because he remembered that night. The rain, the door closing, the feeling of being nothing. And he refused to go back. One day something changed. Not suddenly, not dramatically, but undeniably. People started noticing. The same world that ignored him started paying attention. Opportunities appeared. Doors opened. Not because he was lucky, but because he had become someone who was ready. The boy who had nothing now had something no one could ignore. Respect. But the most powerful moment didn't come from success. It came from something else. Something he never expected. He returned. Not out of revenge. Not out of anger. But for closure. The same street. The same house. The same door. He stood there again. But this time, he wasn't the same person. He knocked. The door opened. And for a moment, time stood still. The same eyes that once looked at him with disappointment now looked at him with something else. Something unfamiliar. Something quiet. Regret. He didn't say anything. He didn't need to. Because everything about him spoke louder than words ever could. The silence said it all. He wasn't there to prove them wrong. He wasn't there to make them feel bad. He was there to show himself how far he had come. Because the truth is, the world may doubt you. People may leave you. Voices may try to define you. But none of that decides who you become. That decision is yours. He turned away, not with anger, not with sadness, but with peace, because he finally understood something powerful. Sometimes losing everything is the only way to find yourself, and sometimes the person they gave up on becomes the person they could never imagine. The rain started again, but this time, it felt different, not like a storm, but like a beginning. If you enjoy watching this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Anna's Stories TV for more interesting story. Thank you.